Welcome back to the podcast, show number
2. Yeah, we actually made a second one. I didn't know, or making a second one. I didn't know if that was going to happen or not. But
we'll see if it makes it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But after the first one, I noticed we got introductions done, which was really good.
Yeah. Missed it.
Huh?
Almost missed it.
Yeah, almost missed the introductions. But we didn't talk about what we actually said we were going to talk about.
Yeah, tariffs.
Tariffs.
In the very beginning.
Yeah. So this one, I figured we'd actually talk about the tariffs a little bit to get started. On that, we were talking a little bit off camera. Let me know kind of what you think of the tariffs and everything else first, and then I'll kind of go from there.
Of my thought of the tariffs?
Yeah, your thought. Well, that's all it is anyway, dude. Because honestly, I'm not a PhD major. I don't, but this is kind of.
I don't know enough about it.
No,
at all.
Well, what do you think about any of it? What do you think it's doing? What do you think it's going to cause? What do you think the point behind it is? What's the overall goal with it?
This is to pull business back into America, correct? Ideally, or at least match to make it equal as far as cost.
Yeah.
Versus go to China to get it for 2 cents versus paying it for it here $5.
Yeah.
Extreme cost difference, but.
Well, no, you're actually pretty close on it, dude. I mean, so take for instance something that we use, right? Which we use the 3M PPS cups, which the 2.0 ones, if you've ever seen them, they go on the cup and they turn and they lock. Well, 3M originally made the PPS one, which if you watch the last episode was the first gun that we ever had. Well, those have been ripped off by China. Okay, and they make them. So for us buying the 2.0, we pay about $1.25 to about $1.50 for each liner and lid. Okay. Now you can get the old version 1s, which is what China ripped off, which made 3M make a new product, but you can get those old versions for like 50 cents each. Right now, I mean, you don't buy it by the each, buy a 40 case or a 50 case.
Yeah.
But when it breaks down, it's almost half
per unit, basically.
Yeah.
It goes down.
Yeah. I mean, but where I'm going though is just the simple fact that it's half the price for the exact same thing. And the shitty thing is they didn't create that. They didn't make that. They saw somebody else make a product and they stole their product. You know?
You made a statement when we talked off camera about my umbrellas for my cameras, for my lights, right?
Yeah, and that's why we still have shitty lighting.
Well, before the tariff talk with Trump and all this, my bottom of the barrel umbrellas I used to buy were like roughly $12 to $15. Recently needed to get a new set. Now they're at the bottom of the barrel is now $50 an umbrella. And that's when you're like, oh yeah, thanks to tariff,
Yes, and I understand that from that perspective, but if you look at it from a business owner's perspective, everything changes. And the reason I say everything changes is because you're looking at it as I'm a consumer and I want to go buy this part for as cheap as I can. I understand that because believe me, I do the same thing here. That's like painting the Maserati, right? The reason I'm using the shop line paint on my own Maserati is because it's cheaper, right, than the water-based paint. And the fact that I'm not planning on keeping it forever, I don't care about the warranty, right? And it's my own, so I don't care about the warranty. Whereas like if it's a customer's, the warranty is more important to me than the price at that point, because if anything happens, I know I have backing to fix that. So then that way at the end of the day, my customer's happy, right? But getting back on track with why as a business perspective it's different is because let's say you created a brand new diffuser system, right? And you spent all the hours, all the research, you paid to have it developed and all that other stuff, which I don't know if anybody's ever had anything custom done. But when you're paying for one-off custom, and I mean one-off custom, not I went to RevZilla and I bought the latest bars that 10,000 people already have.
Yeah.
That one-off is 10 times more expensive, right? So you did that. You created your light thing. Now you bring it to market, and it fucking takes off like wildfire. People are like, this is awesome. It's super brand new. It's super genius, whatever. Now you start making all this money, and you're finally going to get paid back. Now somebody from China looks at your thing, copies it, makes it, and sells it for half of what you're selling it for. And you can't compete because, one, in America, you have to pay a higher labor wage, right? Two, you have rules and regulations and EPA and everything else that you have to follow that they don't, right? So yeah, they can make it for 10 times cheaper because they can also pollute the environment and they can do everything else. And while yet people care in America about that if we're doing it, I actually don't care if somebody else does it and ruins their plot of land as long as I can buy my things for $15. So that's part of like the Tariff Balancing Act as far as I see it.
Did it have anything to do with, Oakdale, the Hershey plant leaving? Is that going to help prevent companies leaving?
He's trying. He's trying to. I mean, it all comes to, and like, look at, like, it sucked that Hershey's left, right? I mean, I grew up in Oakdale, and it was,
that destroyed Oakdale.
Well, it didn't destroy Oakdale, still there, but I mean, dude, Hershey's was such a part of Oakdale that being in Oakdale, and if you're old Oakdale, you knew when it was going to rain. And you want to know how you knew it was going to rain in Oakdale? Because the whole fucking town of Oakdale smelled like fucking Hershey's chocolate. I'm telling you, dude, we would be out at the fucking football field. No bullshit. We'd be out at the fucking football field. You're doing whatever, and all of a sudden you get just a whiff of fucking Hershey's chocolate coming through. You knew it was going to fucking rain.
Huh.
Right? You knew it was going to fucking rain. And
That's
then,
cool.
Yeah, and then they did the Hershey's Chocolate Festival, you know what I mean? Which I grew up for years. And this last year, they didn't even have one.
Where did they want to move into?
Mexico.
Oh, it was Mexico they went?
Yep, they went to Mexico, which honestly, out of the two, I would rather buy something from Mexico than China. And it has nothing to do with China. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the environmental practices that Mexico standard has versus China standard has. Mexico's still not the same standard as the United States, but it's a better standard than what's in China, right? It is. So out of those two, I would personally spend my money there, and one of the biggest problems that people don't do is nobody looks at what the company's about and what they're doing. They just look at the price tag at the end of the day.
Well, they say they do when they want to put their opinion into it. When it comes time to buying something, forget it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be 100% honest. That's why, and it all comes down to everything, like even the stereo in the Maserati. The reason I put Scar Audio in there instead of American Bass or instead of Lanzar or instead of Zapco or instead of any of these other companies or even Rockford Fosgate. Hell, Rockford Fosgate, I think, is made over in Arizona. But the reason is because honestly, at the end of the day, I got a hell of a lot more value for my money than if I would have just went with an American company.
Yeah.
Now I like to when I can and everything else, but honestly, at the end of the day, that thing's not that important to me. I'm not going to spend more money on just a stereo just because. It's just a stereo to me. But at the same time, I understand that's where Trump trying to bring in the tariffs is trying to change that. So if all of a sudden now the Scar shit was the exact same price as the Rockford, well, then I'm buying Rockford Fosgate.
It's been around the longest. Rockford Fosgate.
Oh, I don't know if they've been around the longest. I'm not a stereo aficionado. I know, dude. I've been around when I was in high school. Zapco?
Zapco's been around for a long time, too.
Zapco's been around for a long time. There's stuff. There used to be Sonic speakers and shit, and I think they may even... Another one, Phoenix Gold. I don't know if they're around anymore, but when I was in high school, Phoenix Gold was hella popular.
Let's talk about your stereo stuff for the Maserati that you just did. Right? You paid how much? Or how much did the cars go for the car you got brand new? 80.
Oh
85?
fuck yeah, and I'll grab that over there. So I think talking to Chris, the Maseratis went for like 85 to 100 and something thousand, brand new. You know, we can even look at where they are now. They're even more expensive now. But for a Maserati Ghibli, when they first came out, and they were like the poor man's Maserati, which 80 grand, 60, I still don't think is fucking poor. But they were there. Here, let me grab these. So let's say...
Wrong way.
I know. I'm new to it. So let's go on the low end. Let's say it's 60 grand, right? Fuck, it's a 60 grand car, right? So it's a 60 grand car. And these are the speakers that were in it, right? Those are the speakers. You notice how small the magnet is on the back. The crazy thing about that...
There's having a magnet on the exterior, which is
well, I don't know. Come here, Brian. I don't know if they put some kind of special backing
housing around it.
Yeah, to make it non-magnetic or something. I don't know. But I can tell you this much. It is not magnetic. We went out there to the paint booth and tried to, and it doesn't stick, right? Super small, cone kind of sucks. But one thing I will tell you about Maserati, they absolutely love putting their logo on fucking everything. Everything, anything that was, hold on. Anything and everything that in that whole entire car has a Maserati logo on it somewhere. But where I'm going is for the price. And here's the thing, dude, $60,000 car, right? Now we can probably go out there to my Dodge, right? And if anybody knows, I drive a Dodge Journey back and forth most of the days, right? I'm probably 90% sure that the speakers in that car that when it was brand new was maybe 30 grand, if that, are better than this. And the thing is I'm not trying to cap on them too hard because it's a nice car, and I understand you're not buying that car for the stereo. You're not. You're not.
Less name, expensive brand cars are selling Bose stereos.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had an upgraded option, right, or whatever. But you would figure, dude, at least give me something like it's a fucking $60,000 car. At least give me Walmart.
Yeah.
Right, like I don't know. That's anyway. So that's something on me. But that's kind of where the whole tariff thing is circling back to that. That's kind of what it's trying to do is make it where if the prices on the shelf are the same,
keep the product or money here in a sense.
Yep, or at least let's try it. It's like, dude, like
equal out the playing field.
Yeah, and because also you notice, like, have you ever noticed why you ever notice when you go to the store, most American-made products aren't just shit? Like, seriously, when's the last time you bought an American-made product and it fell apart in a week? Or you got it and it was like, you ever seen the shit on Temu where they zoom in and they take a photo of a bag and they're like, oh, it's whatever, cool. So then you order it and the bag's this fucking small when it comes.
Yeah.
You don't get that stuff.
Well, there's an old video
But my question is, why do you think that is?
Why
do you think you can't just go get a piece of shit American product?
Because it's made with standard?
I don't even think it has a difference to made with standard. So you can't. You literally cannot. Like,
well, that's where I'm going back to. That's why I was looping your video, and you sent me a video, or I seen your video. Basically, you broke something apart. It had made in USA. Then they branded it on the package. This is what I'm.
Oh shit! You're talking
that's why I'm
years
looping
ago.
this back in.
Okay,
so
yeah.
It said USA stamped. Sorry, I wasn't trying to defer.
Yeah, no, I got you.
And then you broke it apart, and then inside of the product it said made in China.
And it wasn't. Yeah, so
I don't remember what it was.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to edit some stuff. I'll find the video and I'll send it to you.
All right.
This is years ago. So what I was actually doing is we were swapping out bearings on a Harley. Okay. Right. And I believe it was like an inner primary bearing or it was a bearing for the transmission, which is no big deal. But we bought a set of bearings. And when it came in, it was all packaged and everything else. It said made in the United States with this eagle flying across it and everything else. Right. Cool. But when you actually unpackaged the bearing, stamped on the bearing, it said made in China.
Yeah. How do you fight that?
I don't know. And what I'm saying is like that is so blatant to me because you can't even say, oh, well, it was assembled here. Bro, it's yeah. So, and that's and that's like the thing with the cheap American product. The reason you can't get a cheap American product is because realistically, if I had to pay the labor to make this versus the labor to make an expensive one, the labor to make the expensive one isn't that much more expensive than what it is to make this.
Same time.
But the cost that I can charge for this, nobody's going to pay more than like maybe $15, if that, maybe $10 for this. Right?
If not, you just go to a flea market and get a better product.
Yeah, I mean, you physically can't. But then if I had to pay, if I as a business owner had to pay somebody $17 to make this, I can't make any profit. I physically can't.
No.
But yet, if I can, and the reason I can't pay, the reason I'm paying $17 is because I have to pay for all the EPA bullshit. It's not bullshit, by the way. I'm just saying it because it's a pain in the ass. But I actually like it because I like my environment. I like having clean drinking water.
Yeah.
I like whatever. I think some people go to extreme, and I think some people are stupid when they hear it. Like they'll go, oh, well, we need electric cars. Great. So let's damage the environment even worse by fucking just dragging all the cobalt and everything else out of the world. And then when the batteries are over, what do? Well, we can't recycle everything. So
stack it somewhere.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, it's great, but you're swapping one shitty outcome for a different shitty outcome, but the outcome's still shitty. You know what I mean? But anyway, back to it. So you have to pay all that shit. Then you have to pay labor. Well, labor in America, I mean, if you're in California, they may say the minimum wage is like, I don't know, $14-15 an hour, but it's not. I'm telling you, the minimum wage in California is $20 an hour. You want to know why? Every time I do an interview, every time whatever, I sit across, and you know what the thing is when you ask them, well, how much do you want to get? They're like, well, if I can get $20 for flipping burgers, I'd at least like to get at least. So the minimum wage in California,
it's 20.
It's $20 fucking dollars an hour.
CEOs are doing flip burgers now.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, so you're $20 an hour. Okay, so now I got to pay $20 an hour, so it costs me $17. I can't sell it. So that's why, circling back, that's why you can't find a shitty American product. Because you can't make a shitty product and make any money off of it. You literally can't. So you're forced to make a premium product, or you're forced to create brand new innovation. And that's like with the 3M stuff. It wasn't a super expensive product, but it was great innovation. And the reason it was great innovation is if you've ever been spraying and you use the old traditional cup, right? So you have the old traditional cup, which it sits on top now because everything's gravity feed. Sits on top and you can spray. Well, that's great, but what happens when you need to turn the cup?
Yeah, it goes back.
Well, it goes where?
Back to the bottom. Or
no, it fucking makes a pile of paint on the fucking floor because the cap doesn't hold.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, that fucking thing will fall right off.
Sealed.
Fuck no.
Well, I don't paint.
No. So, so
okay.
you tip that fucking thing upside down and it just drops fucking paint all over the fucking place. Right? Now you had older ones, so you had pressure pots, and there was other ways to get around that, right? And that's like, what's funny is then you see a lot of the old shit from the 70s, their stuff was on the bottom, and they painted it, but it had another problem. It was siphon feed. But now that VOC levels and all that other stuff, you had to use more solvents in them to get it out. So anyway, so now we have those. So they created this product. Great. And then now they were only charging like $1 for it, right? $1 each time I go to paint. It's fucking nothing. It's worth it because actually now it even speeds up my cleanup time.
Yeah.
Right. And everything else. All right, cool. Then somebody comes and steals your idea from you and they make it cheaper. And the thing is, even the Chinese version of the version 1 is cheaper than the original 3. Dude, they fucking don't seal right. I've had it where they don't clip on the thing, or I've had it where the clips aren't quite the right size. So when you go to get it fucking breaks it, you turn the gun over, it leaks. So they're still even made cheaper,
No.
but it's half the price. You know what I mean?
Which is like Harbor Freight. I always say Harbor Freight's cool as long as it's not mechanically pushed on the inside, the plastic gears, all that. Like cool little tools, screwdrivers, stuff like that. But when they came to actual paint guns and...
Well, no, man, I have to disagree with you. Yeah. Because like I said, and that's part of the thing is like, honestly, some... So the way it is in our world right now, pretty much almost everything's made in China, right? So you can't go, oh, well, it's cheap because it's made in China. No, it's cheap because that's what they wanted their level of that product to be, right? It's not really that way anymore. So when you go into Harbor Freight, the actual Black Widow, dude, those are like legitimate spray guns. It's not like it's some piece of shit. Dude, like you can do a legitimate spray with it. Now, the downsides to it, your paint efficiency is garbage, right? So in other words, like if you're using that, you're going to go through more paint than you would if you're using an Iwata or a DV1. Like a DV1 or Iwata, it's transfer efficiency. So what goes from the end, when you pull, what comes out of the nozzle to what actually stays on the panel and doesn't come as overspray is like 85 to 90% or better out of an Iwata or a DV1.
Okay.
Right? It's way high. And part of that is because of EPA and all the other stuff, they have to be high. The Black Widow, I think it's like 60 or 70. Right? Transfer, it doesn't matter. But if you go back to the 70s, shit had garbage transfer efficiency then too. And you can still do a fucking killer paint job. You're just going through more paint. Yeah. Right? And at the end of the day, it technically cost the owner more money. But if it's a guy that's just getting into it, if you want a really clean paint job, want whatever, yeah, dude, by all means. Like same thing, even with their Icon wrenches. Right now, I like Snap-on. I like going out to my toolbox and seeing the Snap-on or the Matco name on my toolbox and open it up and grabbing them. I like that. But I'm gonna tell you what, man.
You're paying a lot of money for it.
Yeah, and things are different. It's not like it's funny. So at my shop, I have some tools that were my dad's, right?
Yeah.
And these tools, dude, were cheap because we've always been broke my whole life. So we went to Harbor Freight back then too. And dude, the quality of these things, oh fuck, dude. I can understand why my dad was pissed off and he never wanted to work on anything. I put them on it. They don't fucking fit right. They're all hella loose. So you fucking round bolts and you strip shit and whatever. But the newer stuff, it's not like that anymore, man. Yeah. Like
standard went up a little bit.
Yeah, because like I said, because not only do they make the cheap shit, but they also make the expensive shit. They do. I mean, dude, there is so much Chinese shit in Harley bikes. It's insane, dude. Like it is. Like so. But that's the way the world works. And I was naive. Like when I came back from the military, I bought a Harley because I wanted an American-made bike. It's a world-made bike. Your electronics are from fucking Mexico. And it's one of the first things you see. You take your fucking seat off. You see this little thing. It's about this fucking big. It sits right on your caddy. It says made in Mexico. It's a transponder for your fucking key fob. Oh. That's where the electronics come from. Then you go a little bit deeper. You pull into the fucking, you start pulling apart the transmission. The bearings in there. We don't use SKF or Timken or any of the American manufacturers anymore. They're using Chinese-made bearings in them. And that's from Harley. That's not the one I bought with the package.
Yeah.
That's inside Harley, manufactured that way.
So I never looked at if it was USA made. I remember Walmart was known for that. USA made this, USA made that, and then that was like, what, 90s?
90, maybe even a little earlier than that. I knew, so it was real big after World War II.
Is that what it was?
Right, it was real big after World War II and everything else. And there was a push to buy American because when you buy American, you create American jobs.
Yeah. American pride.
American pride. You keep the money here. You do all that, right? But the problem is we're our own worst enemy. And it's like the same thing with unions in a way. I think there's time for unions, and yes, sometimes they are needed. Sometimes now it's gone too far. Like, who was it? Like Hostess or whatever, or the Twinkie Company or whatever. One of those ended up fucking closing the fucking doors because they just wanted too much. It's like, if I can't make money off of it, I can't give it.
Well, what company? It was Advanced Auto Parts. I just found out they pulled all their chain out of the West Coast.
Okay.
Can't make money.
Well, that's like Cragen's not here no more.
I just found that out, 2 weeks ago?
Okay.
My brother confirmed it too. I was talking to my brother, but they pulled it all out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how Cragen does it, or not Cragen, O'Reilly's does it, and AutoZone do it. Maybe just because they've been here longer, so more people buy from them. I know at the shop in Oakdale, we use AutoZone.
Yeah.
I use AutoZone all the time because they deliver out to the shop. If they don't have something, generally they have it within a day. And like I said, I got credit through them. They give me a good deal, that. And like I said, part of it though too, man, I grew up with the people that work there, like Dee and shit. Like, I've known her for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
do they still have Rodeo Weekend out there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rodeo Weekend's big in Oakdale, dude.
I remember that.
Big. The only thing that I find about it, actually, if you want to see some funny shit, go once, because you're going to see more people with brand new cowboy boots, hats, and everything else that they've never been a cowboy in their life. However, Rodeo Weekend, fucking cowboy.
I worked there for 1 year.
Okay.
They did it for fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good time. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's funny. I just...
Oh, yeah, especially when they take off their cowboy boots and say made in China.
Yes. Well, believe it or not, dude, it's hard. So, like, speaking of that, so I went, these ones, I think these are either made in Mexico or these are made in America, one of the two. Because I'm particular about my boots.
I did have boots for today, huh?
I always do. But I did have a pair of Tony Llamas before these, and I was rocking my Tony Llamas. If you don't know, those are made in Texas. Is where Tony Llama's made. Only problem that happened to me, my heel completely fell off the boot. And I went back to Boot Barn. And that was the other thing. I went back to Boot Barn. And the boots that are in Boot Barn are very limited. So instead of Tony Llama... Well, I mean, as far as where they come from, I mean... Well, that, and look, I wear a size 14. I don't wear a size 10. I wear a size 14. So the amount of boots that are actually there for me...
12, 13. I wonder where dudes are made at.
I don't know, but 12s and 13s are a lot easier. Do you know that most, even like most work boots, like Timberlands, all that other shit, dude, I couldn't wear them my whole entire life because they stop at, no, but what I'm saying, they stop at 13. They stop making them, or they don't stop making, but they basically stop carrying in the store at 13.
Okay.
Size 13, yeah. You start going over that, your stuff's limited. Anyway, back to the boots. Trying to find an American-made boot is a little bit harder because, like I said, at that price point, because that's the thing is that even so, Ariat's, a lot of people are like, oh, Ariat. Yeah, Ariat's not an American-made company. It's not even an Mexican company. Ariat's are made in China. I don't know if you knew that. Like, Ariat's are made in China. So everybody, Ariat's are fucking so awesome. They're the best. Okay, well, yeah, they're decent boots.
Never heard
They're
of them.
decent price. Oh, dude, fucking everybody. Anyway,
I'm not a boot guy. Yes.
Yeah,
Apparently.
so
I know Timberlands, but they don't last.
No, but so, and that's the thing. But so, like for a decent pair of Ariats, you're looking like $150, $200. My Tony Llamas were like $320. Same thing. Now the ones that I'm actually saving for, which got set back, and I got to keep going, but is a pair of Blackjack. I want a pair of Blackjack boots. Those are custom made in America, but you're talking like $1,500, $1,600 for a pair of boots.
Do they last a lifetime?
Don't know. I haven't had one yet. Don't know. But the ones I want, the actual particular ones I want are elephant skin or stingray. Those are the two that I'd like to have. But yeah.
Yeah, I just wear dudes, man. I don't know if they're even American.
Don't know.
I want to look it up, actually.
You should.
Look up your phone. Let's see where dudes are.
Go.
Dudes American made.
Well, and that's the funny thing. Like, I didn't even really look either until I started my own business and I was doing the Harley stuff and I came back from overseas. And then it became, like, it was important to me then. And you're like, dude, we don't make shit.
You said overseas. Where'd you go?
I was stationed at Beale, but then I got sent over to Oman. Which is a island out by Afghanistan and shit like that. So I was out over there for a while.
Nice water?
Huh?
Was it nice water?
Fuck no. All right. Hey dudes are manufactured by contractors around the world. While they're designed in Italy, okay, so again, here you go.
A world shoe now? Like a world
It is. So, hey dudes, shoes are manufactured by contracted factories around the world. While they are designed in Italy, they are primarily manufactured in China and Indonesia. Hey dudes, the company is now owned by Crocs. So technically you're wearing Crocs. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. But I mean, it just goes back to it. And like,
that's also another thing too. Once a company makes big enough, a bigger mouth comes over and says, "Oh, we want to buy it from you and take it over."
yeah. You know, and honestly, I wouldn't mind, man. I wouldn't mind. But the biggest thing is like, for as much as people in America are like trying to be champions of rights and champions of the environment and champions of all this stuff, then they're totally okay with buying something from a company that is not even just a company, but from that country.
Yeah.
To where their standards are so inhumane that it's like you're like, in a way, you're funding it.
Yeah, because they're against child labor, or let's just say illegal labor or underage labor, bad labor.
Mm-hmm.
All against it. But
there was probably a 10-year-old that was sewing your shoes together by hand.
Yeah, and he's getting paid cents.
Yeah, I mean,
and I've seen those documentaries. I know,
and it's in everything we do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But they're against it. But when it comes to dollar amount, they'll fund it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, honestly,
indirectly fund it.
Well, because here's the thing, dude. When you go buy yourself a pair of fucking jeans, I'm not thinking about. All I'm thinking about is I need to get a pair of fucking jeans. I don't want to spend a whole lot of fucking money. I just need a pair of jeans.
Is it gonna last? Nice jeans, by the way. Since you blow out on your nose.
Oh, thank you. These are actually red caps.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I like the blue.
Thank you. Well, they're fucking brand new because my last pair. So if anybody doesn't know about red caps, take a look at them because they have a year warranty on their product. In my last pair of pants, actually three pairs. They blew out right in the crotch area when I was getting in my car. Fucking blew out the denim. So my wife contacted them and they sent me 3 new pair of pants.
How much were they?
These ones were free.
Oh, how much are they new? Like
average? I don't know, dude.
Is it like diesel brand?
No, you're gonna have to talk to my wife, dude. I'm spoiled. I don't buy my own clothes. I don't dress myself. My wife tells me.
No.
Yeah, but no.
A good outfit choice today, by the way.
Yeah, she set it out for me, dude.
Yeah,
it's all yeah. But yeah, I honestly I don't know, but look them up. I do know one of the reasons that we went to Red Cap is because they give a military discount. So that's why we went through there. They give a military discount. We did that.
I thought they were Wranglers at first.
No, Wranglers are expensive.
Are they?
You're paying. It's like everything else, man. Like it gets to a point like back to the Maserati. You're paying for a name.
Yeah.
You know, you're paying for that name and everything else. Well, that's like talking about like stuff coming from overseas and everything else. Like you're just getting more for your money anymore. Like, and that's part of like what his tariffs are trying to do too. So if you saw what he's trying to do is he's trying to set it up to where if you buy an American-made car, you get to write that off on your taxes.
Okay.
Right? Which I think American companies need help in, because if you look at like what Hyundai and Kia is actually giving you for your money, dude.
Yeah, you just went through it with.
Dude, yeah. So with my wife, yeah. Well, I mean, I bought my wife a Hyundai.
Oh, no, it's Hyundai. That's right. Not
Yeah,
Hyundai.
Yeah. I bought my wife a Hyundai because her Tahoe.
That's Hyundai, by the way.
Thank you. It is
Way better than the Tahoe. Not brand wise, but looks and
for what you get. Yes, the Tahoe. What I liked about the Tahoe was I liked that parts and everything else were all over the United States. They're easy to find. Blah blah blah. That's all great. The brand, yeah, you know, it's a Chevy brand, so people know it.
Except for the hybrid part.
Yeah, that's eventually what killed it. But I mean, hell, dude, for what I paid, it's the interior is absolutely immaculate. You know what I mean? It's almost like the interior in the Maserati. It's leather. It's leather. It's got suede roof, the whole nine, sunroof, beautiful leather on it. You get 2 navigation screen. You know what I mean? Like screen here, then that's all screen there.
Great selling points.
Yeah, I mean, it's
great selling points until it's time to get it maintenance.
Well, yeah, the maintenance. Well, no, like I mean, yes.
The problem you just had. What was the problem?
Okay, so, and it's not just Hyundai. Okay, so this is where I'm going. So all of them, all fucking dealerships. So, so we bought it, and I wanted to have it serviced and taken care of, right? So we took it over to the dealership to have the dealership service it. Like $1,500 fucking bucks, dude, to have a service done. And the thing is, I'm like, okay, did you guys do timing chains? No. Doing that shit. I started looking at it. They're like, oh, well, we cleaned and lubricated your throttle body. And I'm like, okay, well, it takes, I'm trying to go through it. I'm like, dude, I'm all
adding up your hours, your what's it called, flag time hours.
Yes, yes, and it's like, dude, the labor rates, and it's not just them. I mean, even to if you want a car diagged anymore, it's like $275, $300.
And hopefully it's
that's just to fucking plug it in.
Hopefully they put that toward your bill if they.
Most time they don't. They don't, dude. They don't. No, not anymore.
They were big about that when I was in the car world.
Well, yeah, when I was in high school. Well, right out after high school. But the reason they started doing that was because it was a way to get people in the door.
No.
Because also, if you remember let's go back to the early 90s. You had no problem going to pick and pull or going to a wrecking yard and being able to buy any part that you wanted for your car or truck and then coming home and putting it in yourself.
No.
Now, dude, we had one at the shop in Oakdale where I think it was a Volvo. And this Volvo, it's this stupid electronic piece that's in there, right? It like controls the AC, and all that other stuff. But it's this little fucking thing that's in there. Well, we found a used one because the new ones are like $1,000 fucking dollars or some stupid shit, right? So we find one, we go to get it. Well, now that we got it there, this electronic module, and all it does is just control stuff, is literally VIN set to that vehicle. So it's got a key in there that reads the computer from that car that has that VIN number in it. And if it doesn't recognize that VIN number, it will not allow any of the fucking electronics to work on that thing. So now we have to take it and the new one, the old one and the new one, and send it out to this other company that we found that will then basically jailbreak the new one that you got from it. And it's stupid because it's on a part. Like, nobody's going to go steal the fucking Volvo to rip this part out to try and make money off of it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's stupid.
Well, my frustration with the new cars my current one's a 2018, right? It's still relatively old. It's not new. I took the battery out. The battery needed to be replaced.
Okay.
It died on me at work. Couldn't get it started, jump started. Fortunately, that worked. Got to the house, took the battery out, same day, bought a battery, put it back in within the hour period. Now it's misfiring. Can't get above 25 miles per hour. It's just jammed. Can't fix it. Took it to, what's it called? Jiffy Lube, because it's right there. I knew the owner of it. I was like, can you at least plug it into your thing? I literally just changed the battery. They have the battery out for days to where the brain would reset. It would, an hour. She goes, yeah, we can't figure out what's going on. Luckily, my brother has a friend that does work out of his shop. He has the fancy $2,000 computer or whatever it is.
Oh, they're not $2,000 anymore.
Are they?
No, but go ahead.
Well, not those little plug-in ones that any kid could buy. Yeah, he actually has like a whole computer system. He plugs it in. He goes, oh yeah, something to do with the way that the fires, right? It totally just destroyed, reset the whole memory. So you had to redo the whole memory just from a battery change. My frustration is you're at a park, in the wilderness, battery dies, you have AAA bring you a battery, if you have AAA or whatever. It doesn't work no more.
Well, no.
Now you have to take, you're handicapped.
And because what they're trying to do is they're trying to force you to bring it in. So one of the worst ones, talking about, I think it was 2012, 2014, fucking Dodge. These motherfuckers, dude, they made it to where, okay, so the way it reads is, so the OBD2 port,
yes,
the only information that they have to put out through that is smog equipment. They don't actually have to do any of the codes or do none of that by law.
Okay.
So Dodge, I think it was 2014 or whatever when they did it, they ended up making it where when you plugged in, the only thing it's telling you, unless you have the actual Dodge software, is only emissions. Only emission shit. So if your O2 sensors or whatever, but if like the actual check engine light comes on, it's not telling you what's wrong with it.
Oh, well,
you know, unless, but so.
Little did I know, because I was just frustrated with the fact that I'm buying a battery. That's all I'm doing. Mm-hmm. That's why I don't like the new cars.
Well, yeah, I don't like them because, like I said, everything, dude. I mean, hell, I think on the Maserati, I think the fucking headlights, I think have to be fucking programmed to it. Because it was wrecked and we changed them out. Well, it's got adaptive headlights where the headlights move. But I think because I have a fucking thing on there, they're plugged in, they're all whatever. I think the fucking, even the headlights on those stupid things are fucking programmed to the fucking
it's too
car.
Far. It's too far.
It is. Too far. And then the problem is because they do all that, they force the prices higher. Mm-hmm. They do, man. So, like, perfect example, like I told you, that little Snap-on thing, dude, that thing's like almost fucking $5,000 to $10,000, depending on what model that you want.
Oh, is that much?
Yes.
Oh, it used to be like pretty expensive. 2,000.
Yeah, that was.
Clearly, I haven't been around it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shout out to Jesse Azevedo. So he got rid of his Galant. He wanted a brand new Acura, one of the newer Acura.
What?
Acura.
Type R or RSX? No, they don't make the RSX anymore. That one was actually pretty cool.
Car. No, they brought it back.
Oh, they did?
It's too expensive. It's not worth it. It's not the same body as it was.
Well, it changed already before then. Well, the RSX, no, it was kind of like sleek. It almost looked like an Integra.
But anyway, he got a newer Acura. Beautiful car, cool car. Get a call from him. He goes, "Hey, bro, can you help me change out the light or fix my light?" He goes, "It's too much money." He wanted like $800 for the light.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, he goes, "Can we just unglue the lens and just put the lens on so I don't replace the housing?" Well, Jesse, it doesn't work that way, man. Like, you're legit, you're in the hole. Like, that's it. You have to change the whole system, not just the lens.
Yeah, especially if they're like the LEDs and stuff too, man. Those things get expensive. Like, we do them all the time. It's $800. The fucking trucks, $1,200. A headlight from the dealership. Now, again, but this is where being able to buy from China is a good thing. And it is a good thing because instead of paying $1,200 for something that is overpriced, I can get two of them for $350.
And they're only overpriced is because they can't make. There's not enough people here spending here to help lower the cost. So what they're doing, they're punishing the people that are still trying to keep the money here by charging so much to keep the rate, to keep the money going.
Yes, but I think the part of it is it's because the ones that we're buying are directly from the dealership. And the dealership, dude, they'll bend you the fuck. Like they don't fucking care, dude. Like, so perfect example, man. This is why I don't like fucking dealerships. You know, when you go to buy a new car, do you know what MSRP is? Mm-hmm. If you don't know what MSRP is, MSRP stands for Manufacturer's Suggested Retail Price. When's the last time you went to a dealership and paid MSRP?
I don't know.
Never. They always jack the price up with this, that, whatever.
All I know is every time when I did buy a new car or a car off the lot, which I'll never do again, every time I left, all of a sudden I get a note like, oh yeah, we could buy back your car for $20,000 less than you just signed for.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's depreciation. That is, that's lease anyway. So, yeah. But the crazy thing is, oh fuck, where were we?
MSRP.
So the MSRP, the dealerships have already bought the car for cheaper than MSRP, with the manufacturer dialing in what they think they should be able to sell the car for and still make money. But to the dealerships, that's not enough. They charge you even more over MSRP. So the crazy thing is how much money, you ever notice how you can go and they're like they'll literally give you $10,000 off a fucking vehicle. How the fuck can you give somebody $10,000 off a vehicle and still make a profit?
You just make a price, how much it cost. Yeah. When I was at the dealerships, I used to deal with all the new car intakes before the mechanics got in, did the overhaul, pull all the stickers, and make sure everything's working. Storage is of new cars just sitting back there, weathered.
Yeah, because you got to do PDI on everything.
Yeah, but nobody was buying them. So they just sit back there, and they quote unquote give big discounts. And I've seen the markups and drop downs. It's from the sales. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It's all, I don't know. It's all trying to get you to buy it.
But they want turnkey fun, right?
Yeah.
That's why you should sell your cars. Build cars and sell them turnkey.
Well, that's what I'm doing with the Maserati. Yeah. But it's different. Like, and that's the thing is like,
you're actually building up right.
Well, not just right. What I'm saying is it's my image of a complete car. And what I mean by a complete car is anytime, and I don't know, dude, for whatever reason, I just can't leave shit stock. I couldn't leave it stock on my Harley. I couldn't leave it stock on my cars when I was young. I always wanted to change things, right? Like, and honestly, I don't know why fucking stereos went out. Like, I don't know what happened, but like stereos seem to like kind of.
It used to be a thing.
Yeah, and the only reason I could possibly think of is that the manufacturers have made the new decks and everything else so integrated into.
Yeah, you can't really change.
You're not changing them out anymore. No.
Now they're doing big fate, Before these big touchscreens were even a thing, a friend of mine, he's a Syrian cat, Modesto. He worked at a body shop. They did some custom work, but they didn't advertise it. But it was a body shop. Well, he got an Armada, right? And then that's when the iPads actually first started coming out.
Yeah, I remember that. You put them in them. Yeah.
So then he customized his whole dash and ran his stereo system through his iPad, and he actually made touchscreen before touchscreen was a thing. It was a pretty cool ass idea. Too bad he didn't invent it. Made millions of dollars on it, but that was a thing before. Now you just buy it turnkey.
Well, yeah, and that's actually one of the things I think is a problem. But that's also why you're pushing 60, 70, 80, 100 grand out of a vehicle. Look at, dude, I don't want all that shit in my vehicle to begin with. Give me like, I think Bezos or I can forget who, but they're supposed to be coming out with this new platform of a car where like you can like just buy basically like stripped down basic, but you buy what you want. You know what I mean? So like I'll have to look it up, right? Well, I'll try and get it for next time.
I know something different of that. I'll kind of cut you off, put you back on. My brother was telling me about this and I was just educated on it. Was they'll install heated seats, and then they'll come in every car. I think he was saying it was BMW starting to do it, and I think the higher end of like the imports are starting to do it. So you're actually being forced to buy it, but you can't use it unless you pay a monthly fee for it.
Subscription based. I haven't seen one yet, but I've heard about that. But this isn't what I'm talking about. Okay. What I'm talking about is a new car company that they're trying to make, and I'll research it and I'll try and find it for next time. But to where like you can just get basic, like if you want it just like a truck with steel wheels and a basic steering wheel, you know what I mean? Just basic as fuck, you can get that. Or if you want to add stuff to it, right? Which is more the way companies used to be. Like I remember back in the day, power windows, power door locks, that was an option you had to pay for.
Yeah.
And then they just started giving it to you. Well, the reason they started giving it to you wasn't because more people were asking for it and just everybody had to have it. It was because actually it was cheaper for them if they just make, because you got to remember, you're setting up an assembly line. So now I have to have 2 separate assembly lines, one for power windows, one without.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I save myself money if I just make every fucking vehicle have power windows, power door locks. And that's also why I think they're trying to do that subscription-based thing. They're trying to make more money on it.
Yeah. Or those have one assembly line. Everything's there. You can't mess it up. Go.
Yeah, you just put it all, it's all the same.
Go. Now, if you want to use it, pay it up.
Yeah, which I don't agree with because that also then makes used cars value on some of them be shit. So what I mean by that is like, okay, so say you bought a Rolls Royce Phantom. Right now, I mean, a Rolls Royce is always going to be a Rolls Royce. But if I bought it and it was I don't even, dude, they're so far out of my price range, I really don't know what.
I rode one once.
But what I'm saying is like, I don't know like if they have an SL or they, you know what I mean? I don't know what their trim levels are.
Yeah.
But if you bought like the highest end trim level Rolls Royce Phantom and you keep it in your garage and you go to resell that, part of the reason why that value on that one is higher than the lower one is because it has all the upgrades, everything you could possibly buy. Well, now if everybody has that and they're all the fucking same, there's no point. Like it's like it's getting away from having an XLT or the Eddie Bauer edition.
Yeah. Well, even like Corvettes, right? When I was working at Chevy, Corvette, people would make fun of you if you had the basic model because you had the little cutouts that were ready to be pressed to push the new button or all the upgraded buttons. But if you bought the base model, you had the little outline, but it was never pressed out. And then until you got the upper models, the bigger trims, and then you had all the buttons.
Yeah.
That's going to go away.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I don't know. Like, we've become so subscription based. I mean, I feel bad for my kids in a way. I remember when we wanted to play a video game, dude, I'd go down over to Blockbuster, rent a fucking video game, go home. I was playing within 5 minutes of being home. Now my kids, for one, there is no fucking Blockbuster. Yeah. So they go and they buy a new game, right? And they come home, they put it in. Oh, you can play either tomorrow or like 3.5, 4 hours because you got to download all the fucking additional files. Like, you can't just plug it in and play. So you have to do all that.
We're doing this.
Yeah. So to get work. So that, and then, the other thing is, dude, everything has a subscription.
Everything is, yeah. I just seen a guy who was actually, it was like a little motivational type of thing. Like, back in the day when I paid for things, I actually had the product in my house, like DVDs. Now everything's subscription-based. Basically, you just take your money and gift it to the heir. He was making a big point about it. And it actually kind of made sense. And it's like, you keep paying for these subscriptions, but you don't ever have anything materialistic to obtain.
Actually, yeah. Well, that's like, we just watched not the Roblox movie, but the new movie, Minecraft movie with Jack Black, right? And we bought it because like to rent it was like $26, to buy it was like $29. I'm like, fucking buy it. I don't own the copy.
No, you only
that
buy
copy is on a digital server somewhere. But what happens if all of a sudden they leave and they go?
Perfect example. All right, let's loop right back into, it's like comedy show, they loop. Advanced Auto Parts.
It's a circle.
Right? The one that just took off out of the West Coast chain. My brother was upset about that, and I didn't know this until we talked about it. All his parts he's ever bought was from them for the reason of warranty. What? He knew that every part he bought for his and his fiance's car was from that particular shop. So he already knew, like, without even guessing, he'd just take that part back to the shop. He'd just tell them his name, phone number, part. They would look up. He didn't have to have a receipt or nothing. Like, everything was warranted. I'm like, what happened to all the warranty stuff? He goes, I can't do anything about it now. So same thing as subscription. The same thing is that you might have bought it only until it's not in business or it doesn't get bought out by somebody else.
Yeah, but that was part of the reason, like, okay, so back in the day, going back to Hyundai, right? Mm-hmm. Part of the reason why when we were younger, you didn't want to buy a Hyundai or a Kia. Yeah, they gave you a 100,000-mile warranty, but your warranty's only good if they're still in business. You haven't been around long enough. Okay, yeah, you're going to tell me, okay. But now, I mean, now they've been around 20 years or whatever.
Yeah, they actually lasted. I remember when the Kia was Rio when it first came out.
Oh, yeah. Dude, those things were garbage, bro. I'm telling you, I had a couple.
Dude, I don't think State even had like regulation on that car.
No, well, it was funny because when they first came out, like, everybody was laughing about, how they're going to try and make a Chinese or whatever, going to try, or Korean. I don't actually know who makes the fucking car. I don't look that much into it because honestly, I didn't care.
No.
But the early ones, dude, like, everybody was laughing at them, like, oh, they're never going to make it, because other companies have tried. There's actually been a lot of car companies that have tried to make it.
I got to give it to Kia because outside of Chevy, Ford, Dodge, GMC, which is still...
It's Chevy.
It's same line, right? Just a higher end. But basically, outside of those main ones, there was no other companies that actually made it. And then Kia was like the first one that really stuck out.
What are you to? Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, you have Mercedes. Like, what are you talking? Like
your basic American daily cars that were just around when I was.
Well, then you still had. I mean, you still had BMWs, Honda,
but
Toyota.
The Kia just immediate, just popped up out of nowhere.
Yes, they were, and that's the whole thing. That's what I'm saying is they were a brand new company that came up where all the other ones had been around.
They're established.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, and I also remember, like, dude, Kia and shit. That's one of the reasons why you even have 100,000 miles on your Dodge, Chevys, or GMs. Because when Kia first came out, Chevy, Ford, all them, they were only giving you 36 months or 36,000 mile warranties on the powertrain.
Yeah.
Like, then that was the thing when they first came out, 100,000 mile power. Oh my God. But that was their selling point, was we'll give you 100,000 mile warranty on your fucking powertrain.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And now it's almost standard.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, hell.
I'm just trying to think. Like, I just remember back in the Chevy days, like, never seen those cars and seen those little Rios popped in. And I remember Ryan Ford, which was our service writer at the time. He might even still be there, to be honest. He was talking about, the powertrain stuff, like bumper to bumper. It was always a fight about it with the customer.
Mm-hmm. Well, because, I mean, it's important. I mean, that's like even like my wife, dude. I just bought my wife's car. If I'm going to pay those kind of payments and everything else while I'm making the payment, I want to know that if something happens, you're going to take care of it.
Yeah.
After the payment's over, whatever, dude, it's paid for, right? I expect it. But if I'm, especially now, dude, you want me to pay $600 to $1,200 for a car payment? How do you expect me to fix it if something goes wrong?
Yeah, that's fine if you want to pay that much money, but at the end of the day, like, make sure it lasts or it works for a longevity of my payment. My car payment's done at least.
Yeah, exactly.
And as soon as your car payment's done, at that 6-year mark on whatever it is that you bought, it's starting to crash.
Well, see, and they're not even making it anymore. Like, if you think about it, so most people, when you're financing a car, right? So like when we were younger, it was like 20 or 30 grand was new car.
Yeah.
Now you're financing 50, 60, 80, 100 grand. So it used to be 4 years, maybe 6. Now they're pushing 8-year terms.
Are they?
They're pushing 8-year terms, man. So 8 years. So now as a manufacturer, to try and cover that, you going to give me an 8-year warranty on a brand new car?
No.
Fuck no, you're not, because something's going to break down.
Better.
But I agree with you. Like, if you want me to buy something new.
Well, even like I had a 350Z. I bought it brand new. Showroom floor. It was a 2008 350Z. I bought it brand new. Shortly after, all of a sudden, I hear something rattling. It's not really a rattle. I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't right. It was in my clutch. Come to find out, it was my throwout bearing.
Okay.
Like, this is a brand new car, brand new miles. Like, shouldn't be anything wrong with it. I took it to the dealership. Oh, it's just how they sound. I'm like, it's not how it sounded when I bought the car.
Mm-hmm.
I would know that. I mean, I pay attention to that. I work at dealerships. I know that's not the natural sound. Like, oh, it's a natural sound. And then they got, oh, well, there has been some defects about it, but it won't be a problem. Like, no, you're changing my throwout bearing. And the fact that they be combative about it, it's just like, no, something is wrong with my car.
Well, the reason they're combative about it is because they don't get paid for shit. Like, and here's the crazy thing. Like, so warranty, a lot of people are like, well, if it's under warranty, why wouldn't the Chevy dealership want to fix it? Well, because the way it works is the manufacturer tells them this is how much we're paying for this to be done. Mm-hmm. And it's less time. Well, no, it's even less than flat time. Like, and it might not even be at their labor rate. So like, let's say the Chevy dealership here in town, their labor rate's $175. Well, they're going to be like, dude, we're going to pay you $143 an hour. And even though and we're only going to pay you 3.5 hours, even though you're trying to say it takes 5. Because I don't know if you know this, but technically labor rates and all that other stuff inside the programs, you can adjust your labor rate, even flat times. You can adjust that. I don't know if you knew that. Mm-mm. Yeah, so when you go on the computers and everything else, it's not like it was back in the books. All these computer programs and everything else, you can adjust that depending on your area, so that way you stay competitive with everybody else. Mm-hmm. Because not everybody runs straight flat time. Mm. It doesn't.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I didn't know it either. I always thought, oh, flat rate. Well, yeah, flat rate can also, is it a 10%? Is it a 15%? Yeah. Because the other thing is flat rates are great to a point. But yeah, like I said, I don't know. With computers, they can be manipulated and shit now.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't know it until I was on the other side of it. And so.
Tricks of the trade, right?
Yeah, I guess anything to make more money. Yeah. Which in part of it though too is I understand too, because like flat rate's great until you bust a bolt. Yeah. Or until something comes in rusted as fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
You can make a lot of time or you make nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, pretty much.
I always feel sorry for the new guys.
Yeah, they always get the shit work. So
tariffs, good, bad, what do you think?
I think tariffs, man, overall, I think it's a good thing if it actually goes through and it brings manufacturing back here. Why do I think that's going to be good? Because it's going to bring more money back here and more jobs. Okay? Downside, you're not going to have as much shit.
Is it going to take too long to make it happen with this 4-year term? Is it basically the length of the process going to take longer than 4 years?
For some things, yeah. And it's going to affect people differently. So like here at the shop, actually, we're not going to see that big of an impact, no matter what the fucking tariffs are. And the reason is because I'm already using the 3M. I'm already using the expensive shit. Yeah. So the expensive shit that I'm already using, the price on that's not going to go up a whole lot because where I'm buying it from is already America or Mexico. You know what I mean? Like I may have a 10% if it's out of Mexico, but I think who's going to affect more is the at-home guy or the small guy that's trying to do small products, because now all of a sudden, say you did have to pay that 135% markup on Chinese parts. Well, I told you the 3M PPS, they were only 50%. So now you're technically paying more for those than what I'm paying for the 3M, but my 3M price isn't going to go up.
No.
So yeah, I think I think overall, as a country and environmental standards and human wages and all that stuff, I think it would actually be a benefit. As far as going to the store and having more stuff, shit's going to cost more. I don't think you're going to be able to go to the store and get a big screen 60-inch TV for like $300 anymore. But then again, I mean, it's also kind of fucking ridiculous. How many TVs do people have in their fucking houses anymore?
It's crazy. It's actually went down in price as far as TVs. I remember when I had my first big screen plasma TV in 2006-ish, 2005. Going to Walmart, seeing it for $997, you know, still having a decent size back to it, you know. It still you couldn't mount it on the wall. And that was still just a little less than $1,000 on sale. And now you can get a same size TV, better quality, better image, everything else for $300, $400. Granted, you're not going to have the most expensive sound bar to go with it, but your basic big screen TV is still pretty damn cheap.
Exactly. And the reason that is because of the way the world market is, because it's so competitive. If it wasn't that competitive, you'd still be paying $1,000 for that product. Mm. But because people can rip other people off and they can do whatever, that's why it's able to bring that price down so low, is because of how competitive it is. So to even be able to sell that product, I have to do it, which is the problem that America faces. We cannot create that product that cheap to be able to compete. Why do you think when you go in, you don't see TVs made by America? Do you think it's that Americans just can't make TVs?
No, it's too far down the rabbit hole where the money's going to another country.
Yeah.
And it's going to be too hard to pull it back to build a company here. That's why I was asking, do you think the 4-year terms will be long enough if the next president doesn't agree with?
That's the whole thing. Like, honestly, dude, like if all of a sudden the next president comes in and they say that we're changing it and we're getting rid of it, it's all for naught, dude. Like, because realistically, all they have to do is come in and tell China, hey, we're reversing everything that we did, and not only are we reversing the tariffs that we have on you, we're going to allow you to put even more tariffs on our products to sell in your country.
Yeah.
It fucks everything. I mean, it really, really does. You know? And I think the biggest reason is because not everybody's playing by the same rules. Right? That's like, I don't know if you've ever watched bodybuilding or any of that other stuff, right? But one of my biggest problems always been with it is those that are on juice competing against those that aren't on juice, and those that are on juice trying to lie and say that they're not.
Oh yeah.
It's just not fair. And that's to me, that's the closest comparison I could make. Yeah. Is somebody playing by the rules, doing the way things are supposed to be, blah, 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 blah.
OSHA and everything else.
Yep, I'm doing here. And then somebody going, well, I don't really give a fuck. I can do it however I fucking want. Mm-hmm.
I'm making money. I don't care.
I literally, and then all of a sudden you see them on the stage. There is no fucking competition. Well, in there.
Yeah.